Hi guys, nice to see you again. I'm taking my own advice. I've been complaining in my head that procrastination is a form of stagnation and is not healthy. So I need to practice what I preach, and here I am. Don't know what we're talking about today, but I've been following my guidance and I need to be online. I need to be showing myself and sharing what knowledge, experience, maybe even wisdom that I have. So we'll just see how it flows here, okay? Hope you don't mind I'm hiding a bit more off screen just to give myself a little bit more confidence talking around. And anyway, look, this cherry blossom, so beautiful. Surely that's a bit prettier to be looking at. An awful lot of birds here. It's a beautiful little place. This is West Somerset. It's beautiful here. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I guess I could talk to you about intuition. I know lots of people talk about it. I don't know what level everyone is at. That I don't know if anyone's actually going to watch this, but you know, I realise that everyone is at different stages of evolution. So it all, as I've heard many people say, take what resonates with you. You know, if you're not interested in this, just skip on to the next video. I don't mind. You know, you're not trapped here. Live life to the fullest. Choose what you want to watch. Choose what you want to listen to. And surely birds singing around here is a lot nicer than what's on the news at the moment. But yeah, intuition. You know, what can you do? How can you? What does it mean, really? I guess intuition is really listening to your gut, listening to instincts that you have. Specific thoughts that have a very specific feeling to them. It's not just random, oh, I should do this, I should do that, in a society going to work kind of mode. I'm talking about anything that maybe's got a little bit of excitement to it. It's a little bit more uplifted. I've got an example for you. Okay, so I was in London recently and I decided to book a show for that evening. It was only a couple of hours in advance that I booked it, and I looked up the tube stations, where to go, roughly how long it would take, blah blah blah, etc, etc. So I left and went, and this is where it combines synchronicities as well as intuition, which is quite hard to distinguish between the two, but you don't need to know the difference between that when you're starting out. But basically there were lots of posters in the underground, all saying lots of different things, and the first one that I noticed said, don't let your mistakes end your story. And I thought, oh, that's strange, that's interesting. And why would I need that message when I'm in London, I'm doing the tourist thing, I'm doing things that excite me, I'm investing into me, you know, everything felt good, everything felt right. So that seemed very contradictory. What on earth does the universe want to tell me that for? And so I continued my journey. I heard some music and was pulled towards that. There was a man with a ghetto blaster, and it's funny because I used to not be impressed when people would go around with their music, because that's sort of overlaying their energy, their choices, their preferences onto other people. Maybe other people like the peace and quiet of walking along the street, listening to sounds of nature, or I don't know, whatever. But no, this time I was really pleased that someone was playing this music. And so then I got onto the train when it arrived, and I got to a point that I realised I'd gotten on the wrong one. It was the right line, but it was the wrong direction. You know, lots of people have been there, done that, it's no problem. And I'd left with plenty of time, so that was okay. And I thought, well, that was meant to be, because I was enjoying listening to the music. You know, so it was a really nice experience, and I'm just hanging around doing the tourist thing. And when I got onto the right station, I was waiting for the one in the right direction, there was a message on the boards that was saying how it was completely delayed. There there weren't going to be any trains for a while. And although I was early, I felt this isn't right. Sometimes if you're not quite in tune, it just feels like a tiny little bit of a sinking feeling, just something, just, you know what I mean when I say it doesn't feel right. I know you do. So I decided to walk. Most places aren't very far. So I decided to walk, and I've got to the place that I'd looked up online, and it turns out that it was the wrong theatre. The one that was showing the one I'd booked for was at a different location. So let that be a message to anyone who's going to be a tourist in London and doing shows, that there are multiple venues under the same name, depending on what show that you wish to go to. Anyway, so lovely people working there pointed out that I needed a bus just across the road, and it came really, really quickly. Within less than a minute of me standing there, it turned up. And that's when you feel like things are in alignment, you're following the right path, because things run smoother, they go correctly. And my system wanted to panic. My human body wanted to worry and, oh, we're going to be late, we're not going to make it because I only just made it in time to the other theatre and it's the wrong one. Oh no, and they say get there so many minutes before, blah, blah, blah. Well, I rocked up and there were a couple of people in a queue that I had to go behind, so I wasn't the last one in. And I don't recommend not being punctual. I like punctuality, right? That's it works, the system works when everyone's on time, but I still had time to go in and purchase a programme and sit, and I still had to wait for a few minutes before it started. And I just felt everything actually did work really smoothly, and I thought if I engaged with that negativity, if I gave up at the first hurdle, or if I was too nervous in the tube station and stayed exactly where I was instead of going somewhere that I hadn't been before, and any of those sorts of things, that would have ended that story. That would have prevented me from enjoying the experience. It would have prevented me from enjoying the show and meeting the people that I did and doing the things that I did. So it wasn't exactly a wrong turn. It was just a different experience. And the more you can encompass it not wrong, that it's just different, and give yourself a break, don't be so hard on yourself, it makes the world a difference. And yeah, I guess that's what I want to say, follow what feels good. And I know that people have jobs and families, chores, things that they have to do, places they have to be, but this starts in small movements, small motions. So, do you really want to eat what you're wanting to eat, going to eat? Or is that just habitual? Did you want to take a walk outside or sit in the garden, rather than sitting in front of the computer screen? And I'm not trying to tell everyone that they've got to change their lifestyles or anything. I think there's a lot of people who are super balanced and healthy out there. I'm just, if you're wanting to learn about intuition and following the guidance, following the right path, things are definitely opening up now. 2026 is a massive year, and anyone who's ever heard the terms of New Earth and that kind of thing, the split has already occurred. People are already choosing their sides, and I don't know, the more you hang around in places that don't resonate with you, the harder it's going to be to maintain your balance. I mean, if you picture you've got your one foot on either side of a crack, that's going to open up wider and wider and become a canyon, and you have to at some point choose one side. Do you want this kind of world or that kind of world? And so if you're thinking about intuition, or you're listening to messages like this, then it's a good indicator of what world that you want to be in. And sometimes you need to be brave. Sometimes you need to support yourself and love yourself enough to follow through with your intuition, follow through with your instincts. No matter how silly it might seem, This world is incredibly, incredibly complex. You have no idea what this world could do for you if you follow the things that you're passionate in. If you put faith into yourself, love into yourself, the things that God, source, universe, all that is, that could shower onto you if you follow this path, you'd be amazed. This is a training ground. This heavy density earth that we're all born into. It's teaching us to be ourselves. It's teaching us to remember things. You know, we what is it they say? Nothing is ever created, it's only ever remembered, because everything is already in existence. Oh gosh, I'm taking too long. So there's so many things I'm passionate about that I really want to get out there. So I'm going to have to learn to keep these subjects separate and keep them down to short messages. But I just know what it's like when you love something, and it's exciting. It's when you can start trusting yourself, when you can start seeing these things and doing these things, you get reassurance, you get confirmations, you get the hand at your back that supports you no matter where you are and what you're doing. Life is for the taking, okay? You know, and I'm not talking about stealing or harming others. I'm just saying, grab those opportunities, seize the day, carpe diem. You're worth it. You really, really are worth it, and I love you. Take care, bye.